Good afternoon. I'm Janelle Heinrich, the Director of Public Health Madison and Dane County. Today, we announced a new emergency order that will require people to wear masks when inside public spaces and inside private residences when people from more than one household are together. This order is effective at 8 a.m. on Monday, July 13th. We did not come to this decision lightly. As with all of our decisions, these orders are based on national guidance, current scientific research, and local data. The evidence is continuing to develop and strongly suggests that masks, including cloth face coverings, can reduce transmission of COVID-19 by preventing respiratory droplets from spreading into the air. The more people who wear a mask, the less COVID-19 can spread through talking, breathing, singing, and coughing. It's important for all of us, even people who feel healthy, to wear a mask because people can be infectious up to 2 days before symptoms begin, and people may be able to spread COVID-19 even if they never have symptoms. These new orders are essential to reducing the spread of COVID-19 in our community. We also know that decisions often come with consequences. There are two public health crises in our community and in our country, COVID-19 and racism, and they intersect. Since the beginning of this pandemic, some of our Asian community members have been harassed for wearing masks in public, while Black community members have been perceived as a threat because they are wearing a mask. Incidents like this have happened in Madison and Dane County. This is racism, and it is unacceptable. Some people with disabilities or other health conditions cannot wear a mask, and these orders acknowledge that. You can't tell who has a disability or who does not by looking at them. These orders are not justification for people to harass police or harm individuals for wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. These orders are for businesses to enforce mask wearing in their indoor spaces and for individuals to make changes to their own mask wearing practices. We are not asking for law enforcement for support with this order, to enforce this order. Enforcement will occur through our public health education, outreach, compliance, and enforcement efforts, a team we already have in place. We are asking people once again to follow guidance and to take the simple, easy step of putting on a mask before they visit a business or visit friends and family. This is a win for all of us. By wearing a mask, you protect business employees like servers, grocery workers, and retail workers. You help businesses stay open and help them experience fewer COVID-19 outbreaks in their facility. You are able to see the people you care about while also protecting them from getting very sick. If all of us who can wear a mask do so, we can get back parts of our normal lives while also not spreading COVID-19 to others. Wearing a mask is a small step that could make a huge difference in your well-being and someone else's well-being. We need everyone to wear a mask so that we can slow down the spread of COVID-19. Thank you. And now I'll introduce County Executive Parisi.
Thank you, Janelle. And before I begin my comments, I want to once again thank Janelle Heinrich and the staff of Public Health Madison, Dane County. They have worked tirelessly and relentlessly for the past 4 months, working with evolving information and guidance from the CDC and making extremely difficult decisions. And in my mind, there is no doubt that they have saved and continue to save people's lives, and they're greatly appreciated. The masking order will go into effect Monday to ensure that we have the infrastructure in place to make everyone aware of the requirement and to make masks available to those who may not have access to or the resources to purchase them. Dane County will be partnering with churches, food pantries, libraries, community centers, and community-based organizations to perform education, outreach, and distribution of masks to those who need them. Dane County Emergency Management has 20,000 masks on hand and have ordered another 50,000 cloth masks for distribution to those in need. While this order doesn't officially go into effect until Monday, We urge everyone who is able to begin wearing your mask now. If you have access to a mask, please don't wait to wear it. Please begin now. Beginning Monday, wearing a mask indoors will be mandatory, so please take this order seriously. Wearing a mask will better protect your family, your friends, and your community. Wearing a mask is not something we do for ourselves. It's something we do for others. It will reduce suffering, and it will save lives. I've lived in this community my entire life, and I have seen over and over, time and again, that when our neighbors are in need, we come together as a community to help them. Be it natural disasters, tragic accidents, illness, or loss of life, Dane County residents show up for their neighbors. Today, showing up means wearing a mask. We're living through some scary times. We're living through some difficult times. But we are not helpless, and this will not last forever. But it is where we are today, and we have to respond accordingly. If we adhere to public health guidelines, including wearing a mask, we greatly improve our odds of getting this virus back under control and keeping it at bay. By wearing masks, we can protect our neighbors, our families, and our communities. Thank you.
Thank you. I would also like to add my thanks for Public Health Madison, Dane County, Janelle and her staff for the incredible work that they're doing. Long hours they're working to keep our community safe. And everything that they are doing in public health, including the decision to require masks, is driven by the science and the data. We are seeing more community spread here in Madison. 33% of people tested in the last 2 weeks don't know where they got sick. And we are seeing an increase in asymptomatic COVID-19 cases. About 13% of people testing positive in the last 2 weeks have no symptoms. That means that even if a person is feeling fine, they could still pass the virus to their parents, to their grandparents, and others in our community who are at a higher risk of getting seriously ill and being hospitalized. Wearing a mask is an act of caring. We wear masks to protect everybody we come into contact with and the people in their lives that they come into contact with. We wear masks to protect people who have asthma or who are immunocompromised. We wear masks to protect elderly people and healthcare workers. We wear masks to protect each other. I'm asking everybody who can safely wear a mask to please wear one in public. Be prepared to mask up when you need to. Carry a mask with you. Have an extra in your bag. Keep one in your car. Keep one at work. Have a few by the door at home, anywhere you might need one. Please, help us model good behavior and spread the word that masks are the new norm and important for all of our health. It's time for Madison and all of Dane County to mask up. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is State Representative Sheila Stubbs. I served in 2 capacities as a Dane County Board Supervisor representing District 23, which is South Madison, where you are currently. And I also serve as the first African American state representative representing the 77th Assembly District, which is comprised of the south and west parts of Madison, the UW campus, and the village of Shorewood Hills, which are very critical parts of the city. I stand here today under the fine leadership that we have under County Executive Parisi and Mayor Santa Conway Rhodes, because this is important. This is a very important next step that we need to do in order to reduce the numbers of cases that we have with COVID. As an African American who's standing here today, who also serve, and I have asthma, it is critical that we make sure we not only protect ourselves, but others that are so vulnerable. It is critical that we mask up at every aspect, from your home to your job, to any location that you're traveling to. Make sure you are wearing your mask. It will save a life. It could save your life. It could save someone else's life who is very high risk in population. But I stand here today, and I'm so honored with this leadership here that we are thinking beyond ourselves. We're thinking about every resident within Dane County, and we know this is a very critical first step. I am honored to say that in Dane County, along with the City of Madison, under our director, Janelle Heinrich, that we were able to have other locations for COVID testing. Alliant Energy Center right here has served in so many capacities, but also to provide access and opportunities for other sites throughout the community where others can go get tested that may not necessarily be able to come to the Alliant Energy Center, but maybe the Boys and Girls Club or the Hmong Institute. That is also something that I stand here as a focal point to say it's important to get testing out to everyone within the community. And we know that there are barriers. There are barriers within our healthcare systems, but most importantly, let's try and break down these barriers. Let's try to save lives. And most importantly, I'm asking every resident within Dane County to please mask up. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Alder Sherry Carter, President of the Common Council. Along with the mayor, with Dane County Executive, with Public Health, with the state representative, I am here to say, let's mask up. I am here to say that if you think you're too cool for a mask, you need to mask up. If you're too hip to wear a mask, you need to mask up. And I'm going to show you. Look at me now. Look how cool I look now. Look how hip I look now. If you want to be hipper or cooler than me, you got to mask up. If you're a senior citizen, and you're from the hip cats from the 20s, you can't be cooler than this. You need to mask up. And we have different locations, as previously mentioned, that there's different locations in the community for you to get masks. And let's show the world how to do it right. And Dane County is going to do that. And when you see me walking in the streets, this is what I want you to say. Hey, Sherry, I've masked up. Thank you.
We'll take questions if you have them.
Now, can you talk more about how this is going to be enforced? You talk about not law enforcement, but public health. And also, do you think it'll withstand any kind of legal challenge?
I would hope it would. We know that masks are the right thing to do as one of the very few strategies we have available to us to prevent the chain of transmission. Our enforcement, we already have a team that is dedicated, our compliance and education team, education and outreach. It's a largely complaint-driven system. We receive those complaints, and our intention is to follow up with the folks that we have heard may not be understanding fully the orders, the directives that we are asking people to follow to prevent transmission. We'll follow up with them, do some education and outreach, and hope that would be it, and we don't have to move through the citation process. But that is still a tool. That is still something that could happen. It is really preceded by that building understanding of what we're needing people to do right now. We are putting a lot of different conditions in place to support outdoor breaking the chain of transmission, and that risk is generally lower outside.
In response to the legal challenges to your orders?
I don't have any comment on that.
I'm sure that you've seen the videos of people in stores that are basically refusing to wear masks. I mean, if that were to happen, they kind of have masks for those people in terms of why it's essentially.
It's the message that we've been saying all along. We have very, very few things in our toolbox. The knowledge, the evidence around how this virus is growing and shifting and what we have available to us to break that chain of transmission. It's keeping distance from each other. It's wearing a mask. It's being in outdoor settings. It's not gathering with the number of people that we often would like to be to support our social and emotional well-being. But we really urge everyone to adhere to this to support themselves and each other in our community.
Do you have for business owners for how to handle this if someone comes in without a mask?
We would ask them to, one, seek understanding, right? We also know right now that the intention of having the orders go into effect on Monday is so that we can make masks more accessible in our community, and to also understand why folks may not be able to wear a mask for underlying health conditions that would put them at risk if they were to wear one. And to assume that if folks aren't wearing one, that there's a very clear reason that they would not have to disclose to do so.
Can you elaborate on where people can get masks if they don't have them?
Sure. Do you want to talk about the masks?
So that infrastructure is being built as we speak. We're going to be working with community-based organizations, community centers, churches, folks like that, to make the masks available, to do outreach into communities, to inform people and educate. So over the next few days, that'll be coming together, and we'll continue to message that and continue to do that as part of our outreach. Any other questions?
If it comes down to a citation, what would that look like? Is there a dollar amount or a fine?
So I think what's important here, we're a community of over 500,000 people, and we can't police every single person, just like we have stop signs, and we count on the fact that 95% of people are going to stop at stop signs because they don't want to put themselves and others at risk. And so what's needed now is for this community to come together and have us not rely on enforcement. I think of, just since I've been county executive, the examples I've seen. I think of the explosion in Sun Prairie and how this entire county came together around those people to help the families and help the people impacted by it. I think of the flooding that wiped out businesses and homes and displaced people, and communities come together. This is a time when we need to come together as a community. We are the first community in the state of Wisconsin to enact this masking regulation. And I think this community has it in us to step forward and to step up and do the right thing for our neighbors. Because again, we're not doing this for ourselves, but if we all look out for one another, like everyone here is today with a mask, then everyone will be watching out for us. So I think we can do this. I know we can do this. I've seen this community come together before, and I know we'll do it again. Thank you.
And just to follow up, what is the amount of the citation if one is issued?
Do you know what that is now?
I don't want to misquote the dollar amount, but it's listed in the ordinance and on city and county ordinance. I would ask you to look there. I don't have that in front of me right now.
Does anybody here know? Somebody must know.
Well, we can follow up. Get your email to the guy with the
We can
blue
follow
vest
up
and we'll
on that number. I don't have the dollar amount in front of me right now, but I can follow up.
Response team cost to set up, and is this similar to the response team you all had in place earlier on where say for remote that would basically go in where cases where people were over 25% capacity?
This is part of that team. We have a team of folks that we have constantly been adding to through our public health staff to support those efforts of doing the outreach and education to individuals and businesses. So this is part of that effort. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.